for inviting us, for pulling us away from the mess of this dunya tonight. If you manage to escape tonight and to come to the top of the mountains just to say Allah, for the purpose of remembering Allah, then congratulations to you. In these days, it is ma'rifat, enough. Because so many, majority of not only Muslims, but of mankind, they have lost their direction in this 21st century. Especially in nights like this. Not only they're treating it like a normal night, but you will find so many, they're not doing wrong things on other days and other nights. On nights like this, they are doing it. You will find in nights like this, maybe the shaitan is working overtime. Of course it is. Why is that? Didn't Holy Prophet ﷺ say, if you're going to take one step in the way of Allah, be careful, because there will be 70 shaitans standing in your way to block you. If you're running for the sake of Allah, to know that shaitan will be standing right in front of you to try to sabotage you. In other days, shaitan is letting you free. But in holy days, nights like these, you're going to find them working overtime. We are in the holy months. Shaitan is not so powerful in these holy months. Once shaitan leaves, something takes over. His role, his place. Because shaitan is saying, I'm going to go and I'm going to train you so well, so good, that when I'm not there physically, you are going to represent me. You see, it works in the evil side way too, isn't it? There's never going to be a vacuum. One goes, another one is going to represent. So shaitan has already trained our ego so good in other months. So he can take a break on those holy days and nights, on those holy months. And our ego has been trained that it's going to kick in. Man is not knowing himself. Man is not knowing his enemies. Man is not knowing his friends. If he doesn't know himself, he doesn't know his Lord. He cannot worship his Lord. Then you are not going to understand why we have been created. Why are we here on earth? Is it just to eat and to drink and to marry? And in these days, majority don't even know how to do that properly. They don't know how to eat properly. They don't know how to drink properly. They don't know how to marry properly. They don't know how to collect the dunya properly. That's what's happening. But no, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has created us in ahsani taqweem, in the most perfect form. And He has sent us to be one from the ummah of His greatest beloved one, alayhi salatu wassalam. For us to live in these ahir of the ahir zaman. A special honor that is given to us. A special invitation that is given to the entire ummah to remember Allah. But in these days, Muslims, they have lost their direction. They don't even know what zikr is. They don't know how to remember Allah too. Don't think this has happened for hundreds or thousands of years. No. Only past couple of generations. Muslims have lost their direction. They don't even know what zikr is. They're thinking it's something that is so weird and so strange. But they're not understanding that this is tradition that has been going on for 1400 years. What happened? What happened is, if you're not remembering Allah, you're remembering shaitan. That's all. Of course. People know how to go to rock concerts, movies. They know how to be in a group and how to behave with that group, enjoying what is being shown to them as a group. But in a group that Allah is saying, if you remember me alone, I will remember you alone. If you remember me in a group, I will remember you in a much more superior group. What group is this? The group of the angels. That holy tradition, majority of the Muslims, they have lost. But if you tell them, we should gather together for, say, Memorial Day, they'll say, oh, of course we're going to do it. Gather together for 4th of July, definitely we're going to do it. New style. Holy days, Muslims say we have to go to Six Flags, amusement park. Because they're saying, well, you see, this is what they're meaning to say. In Islam, for 1400 years, is not complete. They don't know this before. We have to have fun. So now we discover Six Flags is better. We should spend those times paying a lot of money, because those places cost a lot of money, right? Doing a Malayani, and then to bring your children and your women into an areas where all eyes will be on them, and you're going to be kicking and screaming and joking and laughing like monkeys whole day, and that is big advancement. Then you're going to feel like it is the holy day. You're really celebrating a holy day. MashaAllah. This is Akhir Zaman. We've come to that situation now. We are thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for pulling us out from that mess. Because who are we that Allah is going to remember us? Not only is He remembering us, but He's pulling us out from that mess, like what we said earlier, for us to come to the top of the mountains. What is it that is over here? For the ego, nothing. For the ego, it's only going to be knocked wall to wall. You don't care who it is, young or old, man or woman. You step out of the line, you are going to get reminded, you're going to improve yourself. Doesn't matter, young or old. So many jamaats, so many groups, they don't have this. Alhamdulillah, we are here under the feet of our Shaykh. We are not claiming to teach. We are not claiming to know anything. But we are continuing in Shaykh and his tradition, and there's so much there. It's enough there until Judgment Day and beyond for us to take. His Sohbet, what he has spoken, to remind each other why we are here. On a holy night like this, what are we looking for? What is it that we're looking for? If you think that you're looking for a burak to go to Miraj, you are wrong. Let me remind you also, Shaykh Effendi, what he reminded us. When Holy Prophet ﷺ, he made the Isra. The Isra from Mecca to Qudus. He stopped over in a few places, of course, before he went directly to Qudus. He stopped in Medina. He stopped in the mountain of Tur. He stopped in Isa alayhi salam's birthplace. A couple of other places. Then he went to Qudus. And there he was greeted by 124,000 prophets who stood up as soon as he enters and giving salawats to him. You know the salawats that we're making after every zikr? Same salawat. Understand and know that that is the sunnat of the 124,000 prophets. How Allah is blessing us to take these forgotten sunnats and for us to practice it. But if you are not going to remember, If you're not going to put two and two together, if you're not going to remind yourself to wake yourself up, that is just a routine. You're going to say, Allahumma sa-, and it's still the same thing because there's no feeling, there's no reminding, there's no thinking, there's no value. But the value is there. But you're not receiving it because you're not waking up. The same thing with the prayers. You think praying, making salah is just going up and down without understanding, without feeling anything, without knowing anything, without tasting anything. Before Holy Prophet ﷺ, when he was on his journey from Mecca to Qudus, on both sides, shaitans, they were lining up all the way to Qudus to burn the Holy Prophet ﷺ. MashaAllah, Astaghfirullah. Understand, everything was created for the sake of that Prophet. Understand what test Allah is putting there, what kind of danger is there. They were lining up, thousands of them, and Prophet ﷺ, he was riding on the Burak, isn't it? And he was having Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam with him. And all the other angels and armies of angels with him. And the shaitans, they were all there, just waiting to burn that Prophet alayhi salam. This is a reminder to you and to me. If the danger is facing the Holy Prophet, what about us? What is the danger that is facing us? Especially when we leave the group, when we leave the association, when we leave the company of the awliya Allah and the salihin. You think you're better than the Prophet? You think shaitans will not be out there to burn you, to burn your faith, to cancel everything that you have collected so hard? Yes, they are there. But man must wake up to understand this. The safety lies in the association with those who remember Allah. Isn't it said, be with the Ahli Zikr? Holy Prophet ﷺ is saying, if there is anything you want to ask, ask the Ahli Zikr. But those who leave this understanding and they leave the associations, especially in nights like this, yes, then you're going to find all the way, left and right, aligned with shaitans, who is ready there to burn your faith the minute you step out. Something for us to think about. Because Holy Prophet ﷺ, he went to the Miraj too. He went to the Isra, he met 124,000 prophets in the Qudus. And he became an imam to them. He's the Imam al-Mursaleen. He is the seal of the prophets. That warning came to the 124,000 prophets before him and to their nations, if my beloved were to come. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, your prophethood is no more. You are going to follow him. And the prophets, they understood the blessings that is coming. Being a member of his ummah. That they are saying to their Lord, to our Lord, Allah, saying, Ya Rabbi, we are willing for you to take away this prophethood, this high honor you have given to us. Make us to be just a regular member of this ummah, of the beloved one. Because they understood the blessings that is coming there. So, in a holy night like this, how much should we give thanks to Allah? How much should we remember our Prophet? How much should we remember our Prophet? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala invited his Prophet into his divine presence. What happened at that time? What happened in that year? It's similar. I'm thinking today, a little bit similar to what happened to us in the past year. Isn't it? That was a year of sadness for the Prophet ﷺ. That was the year when his beloved uncle passed away and he had no protector. His uncle was the head of the Quraysh, protected him specially. When he passed, Abu Jahil became the head, and he placed a boycott, a sanction on them. They could not even find food to eat. They were open to be attacked by everyone. They were living in the stony mountains, and they had nothing to eat, and they were eating barks and leaves and the trees and the grass, they were eating it. This is real. This is not a joke. This is real. Understand what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made those ones who are following the Prophet to go through. They were not there, those ones, wanting a burak. They were not there following the Prophet. They wanting this dunya. They were not there to see extraordinary things. And Allah tested them for their faith. Think for a while. These stories are not for nothing. Think if you have to go through it, if I have to go through it. Because so many too smart ones, they're claiming to know so many things. They know, like what Shafi'i says, a couple of ayats, and they pray a couple of rakats. And they're saying we can make fatwa, we know better than anyone, we know better than the Sahabis. And if I were to live during the time of the Sahabis, I'm going to be good too. They only know how to judge others. But those ones, they were like you and me. They have flesh and blood too. And what happened to them? They were under heavy test. And Prophet ﷺ was just teaching them submission and patience. And so many others who were having suspicion in their heart, so many others who were having doubts in their heart. When Holy Prophet ﷺ went to the Isra and the Miraj, and when he came back, and when the Quraysh spread that they say, you see, the one that you're following is crazy. He's gone crazy. He's saying he went to Miraj. He said he went to Qudus, then he went to the paradises, and he went to the divine presence. And so many who had suspicion, so many who had doubts, they say, yeah, this cannot be, this is impossible. But those that were tested, those who submitted, those who paid with their sweat and their blood, they say, Samina wa ta'na, we hear and we obey. Those are the ones headed by Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq. Because when the Quraysh went to him and said, your friend has gone crazy, he's saying this. Hazrat Abu Bakr said, he said this? He says, yes. Then I believe him. Amanna wa sadaqna. He became a Siddiq because of that. So many failed. So many in these times failed too. We also went through a year of sadness, didn't we? We also physically, we have lost the protector, haven't we? Physically. But Allah is not leaving us alone. Prophet ﷺ is not leaving us. And definitely, our Shaykh is not leaving us. Are we making Miraj? Are we making Isra? Our goal is to continue this way. We're not interested in anything else. We are interested, and our intention is for our Shaykh to be happy with us, for our Prophet and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be happy with us. for us to understand why we have been sent. What is the value that Allah has given to us, this Akhir Zaman, to escape from the craziness of this world, to live a simple life, to worship. And for all our problems that we thought they were so big, we thought is driving us crazy, we thought that it is something that is so important, it becomes less and less and less. Why? Like what we said before, once we fix that relationship with Allah, then everything else can be fixed. If you're not fixing it with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with His Prophet ﷺ, then you can have the whole world. But it's going to bring you nothing but misery. It's going to bring you nothing but sadness and sorrow. And Holy Prophet ﷺ, in his Miraj, in a night like this, at every step, at every honor, at every station, he's asking for his nation. He's crying for his nation. He's crying for you and for me. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala invited him and showed him to all of creation. Showed him to everything that is in creation. And Allah is saying, this is now my beloved one. Obey him, submit to him. And Allah is showing him everything. Everything that was in the past, everything that is in the present, and everything that is going to come. And Holy Prophet ﷺ, when he went through the hells, and he's crying for us, for his nation. We should not pull ourselves out. We should look at those times and those days that we have made oppression to ourselves, and we have forgotten Allah, and we have done wrong things. Tonight, in a night like this, to sit down and to think it, and to ask for forgiveness, and ask for us to be strong, and for our faith to return, inshallah. At that time, it will be easy for us. That time, as we enter into the month of Sha'ban, as we enter into the Laylatul Bara'at, we've already done so many things. So when the Bara'at night comes, we're going to get a fresh Bara'at, a good report, a good writing. And we're not leaving that to the last minute to do. Wa min Allahu tawfiq, may Allah forgive me and bless you, for the sake of the Holy Prophet, ﷺ, for the sake of this holy night, for the sake of our Sultan al-Awliya, Shaykh Maulana Muhammad Nazim al-Khani, may Allah bless him, grant him higher stations, and grant him a long and healthy life. To our Sahibul Saif, may Allah grant him a higher and higher stations. May Allah increase his Rabbaniyat, and may He send us His support more and more. May all the wrong ones be taken away from this path. May all the shaitans be removed from our way. May we continue in our journey until we finish from this world. Wa min Allahu tawfiq, for the sake of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, Al-Fatiha.